These days, Badminton House in Gloucestershire is associated chiefly with headscarves and horse trials. But it's also where badminton originated just over a century ago. The Somersets have lived here since 1608, and the family has always shown a particular interest in sport. So it's appropriate that it should have been here that the ancient game of battledore became the new game of badminton. Battledore and other games played with shuttlecocks have a long history, and they may have originated in the Far East. In China, travellers saw men using their feet to keep a shuttle in the air. In England, in the Middle Ages, it was a popular pastime to knock a crude shuttlecock about. In the 17th century, battledore and shuttlecock became quite fashionable. It was an upper-class amusement which both gentlemen and ladies could enjoy together, an elegant way of whiling away a dull afternoon. At Badminton House in the 1830s and 40s, it was the daughters of the household who played the game. In battledore, the aim is to keep the shuttlecock in the air for as many hits as possible.
93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
As a game, it's not very difficult, and it's on the dull side. And there's not much doubt that this pair could beat the Badminton House record of over 2,000 hits set up in 1830 and recorded on a vellum-covered battledore in these words: kept up with Lady Somerset on Saturday, January the 12th, 1830 to 2017, Henrietta Somerset. In the 1860s and 70s, Badminton House was the scene of frequent house parties. Idea that if you put a string from the fireplace to the door, you could have an interesting game by trying to hit the shuttle down onto the court on the opponent's side of the net. They used rackets rather like this kind of tennis racket with gut instead of parchment for hitting the shuttle. This one dates from the 1890s and is far too precious to use. So let's just have a look at what a game of badminton might have looked like. We don't know exactly how the game was played at Badminton House and whether any lines were marked on the floor or not, but we do know that the shuttlecock they used was twice the size of today's and more than twice the weight, all where badminton is said to have begun. Among the 6 players taking part were 3 former All-England champions. Mrs. Kitty Godfrey, now in her 80s, won 4 All-England singles titles in the 1920s and also the ladies' singles at Wimbledon. Mike Tredgett won the All-England mixed title with Nora Perry in 1978. Mrs. Judy Hashman won 17 All-England titles in the 50s and 60s. Mrs. Kathy Tredgett plays for Gloucestershire, and Ray Major is a former RAF champion. Geoffrey Hashman hasn't won any championships yet, but has a formidable badminton pedigree. Judy, what does it feel like playing games in the authentic costume of the 19th century?
I think different is the best word. Terribly restricting they are, and very, very hot.
So you couldn't play a modern ladies' game in that sort of rig?
No, you can't really lift your arm above your head for anything, and you can't move because of the length of the skirt.
What about the shuttlecock? How did you find that?
Well, it's just as well. It's 3 times as big as the normal one, actually, because you can see it, but you can't move to it.
Mike, what does it feel like playing badminton in those sort of clothes?
Well, for movement, it's pretty restrictive. The trousers are very tight, and the braces seem to sort of keep you upright a lot. But I should think the movement was very difficult.